Ever wonder how you can transform a big piece of industrial junk into a cozy guest house? Welcome to our third installment of this semi-trailer journey. Hi, and welcome back to Big Tiny Adventure. We've got a lot to cover today as we continue to transform our bedroom and bathroom space into our future rustic retreat. But first, let's have a quick look at the work we got done in our last episode. And how time flies. Our last episode, things looked like this. And one season later, here we are. My favorite time of the year. Hello. Well, we're starting the day today by trying to replicate the success that we had with this beautiful install here, which created this great opening of light over here. We're going to be doing another window today. I've sized it out. It's going to be exactly opposite to this other window. Here it is here, the one that we're going to be installing. And yesterday I did all this outer trim, which you might remember from the other one, because I wanted the window to sit flush within the wall, not sitting attached to the outside of the walls. So this window has little fins that normally would go attached to the outside of the house. I've just built a frame around that allows it to sit perfectly in the wall, and then also allows me to screw into this outer frame to hold it securely in the wall. So let's cut out the hole. Well, it's not a dark little cavern anymore, is it? It's a beautiful lit up space. Wow. It really does make a difference, doesn't it? Place with the flashing and everything. Gotta love that feeling when you pound something into a spot that you cut and measured and everything, hoping that it would fit, and it fits so snugly that you just got it in. That to me is a big win. So we've got the window pretty much in place. So we put the little magnet fly screen on. We've got the out here. The edging has been pretty much done. I just need to seal it and a couple more coats of lacquer. But that's done for now, so hello. And just the inside, of course, needs to be done still, which is what I'm going to leave for now because I really want to get this all done. And that requires me to sand and strip that back, get the same sort of texturing going on that I got over here, and a coat of paint, and then I can put the finishing trim on that. So that will be our next step. All right, this is the end of it. This is the end of the blue walls. They will be covered now. End of an era. Ah, isn't that sweet? Goodbye. Goodbye, but you're still there, just covered over. All right, this room is slowly transforming. I did say there was no more blue, but there is a tiny bit of blue right here because we're going to build ourselves a cabinet in this corner with this other door that I purchased here from someone who's doing a demolition. So let's get that started. All right, so this is the little cabinet we're building. Very simple. You can see the bathroom door here. Very simple, just a space for hanging stuff and then a couple of sort of little drawers in there. And yes, so we've got that started. We've got our little cabinet in the corner here. As you can see, it's going to take up not too much space in the scheme of the room. And yes, very, very simple design. I was going to build sides and a back, but I've decided just to attach it straight to the wall. So basically, yeah, save money. That's right. At the moment, we're quite tight for money. So I basically halved my costs by not putting the other sides on. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully we won't ever change our minds about this room and want to move this, because this is going to be built right into the wall, including having the texture that we've done with the walls here. It's going to become part of this, so we'll see how that goes. So we'll have a little bit of space for the floor to continue in from whatever we do here into the floor there, and then I'll just be painting the back of this as we won't really see much of it. All right, it's time to build this cabinet. Don't want to spend too much time showcasing the build. So we're going to do the 60-second carcass build, and we're using a lot of the key things in this one is to use as many of my old junky pieces of material that I've got laying around. I've got so much kind of random stuff, so the goal is to use as much of this stuff as I possibly can. Here we go. All right, so small modification here on the fly. This is what happens when you build stuff on the fly and you realize stuff. So with my hinge, it's going to have to sit like this, which means when it flips out, it's actually going to put my door kind of in the road, which is where I was going to have these drawers. So obviously, because it sticks out a little bit, I'll have to readjust how I do my drawers. Now the drawers are just going to be very, very simple, kind of pull out on like a timber track, but it's going to be coming too far away from the wall now from this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build like a little box. So basically this will be a divider, and then it's going to have like space for maybe, like shoes or handbag or umbrella, whatever can be in that little slot. And then along the other side here will be the drawers. All right, so we got our little side thingies sorted here with my drawer runners, and that will be going, and then these will run on the outside of the, so that will go there, and that'll be on the drawer, so it has like nice support, can come out quite far without falling down. So, but wifey came around, and like all good wifeys, she decided to throw a little spanner in the works. So she wants to put an ironing board in this space. Unfortunately, the cabinet itself is not quite tall enough, but it is tall enough if we go to here. So I'm going to have to cut this short, and then we'll have a gap for the ironing board to go in. Putting the fronts together for my 2 drawers. All right, so we got the carcass and basically everything done for the cabinet that I'm going to have to build. Might just put a couple more little trim things in just to tidy a couple things up, but basically it's time to sand this baby down, get all those sharp edges gone in preparation for some filling and some painting. So I always wanted this this whole cabinet to look like it was kind of part of the wall. So I'm fixing this corner with the cement render, and then I'm going to cement render the whole box, and then there'll be sort of a continuum of render as if this thing was hewn out of the organic material of the wall. Fast forward to the completed cabinet. Didn't want to bore you with all the paint and stuff that I put on it, but as you can see, I've matched it with the wall so it fits in as if it's kind of built into the wall. I found this cute little knob that gives it sort of a vintagey kind of feel. And that's the door that I found for 20 bucks. Fits in there nicely, nice louvered look. And we've already populated the space. There's a hanger for stuff. We made enough space for the ironing board to fit in, and that required cutting out the shelf a little bit smaller, but that actually is a great place to store it. We've got space for some footwear at the bottom, or like a handbag or something like that. Another little shelf maybe for some sort of towel or bag for guests. And then we've got our drawers here, and they give you a nice deep amount of space. Plus we've got this little shelf up top and a magnetic closure to keep it all tidy. So yeah, happy with that. I think that turned out well. So the idea is that we've got a little bit of space up here that we can put like a plant or something that can sort of trail down, some kind of cool artifact or something that kind of works with the room. Maybe a space for a little chair here, like a cozy, comfy chair. So there was an idea as well of putting a little table here, maybe like a rounded table that kind of flips up from the wall. And a couple chairs can go around there for like a nice little breakfast spot. And of course, our next thing to do is get this bed area finished, and that will be the Murphy bed, or a fold-out wall bed, however you know it by it. And there'll be a bit of lighting in there, and then the last main thing will be to get this ceiling done. So I'll be installing lights in this top panel, the downlights. So I've got to remember my wiring and feed all that stuff through. And I'm just cutting a little hole to feed that up to facilitate the lights being able to be plugged in. One thing I love about the era that we live in is that LEDs are having their time in the sun. The Renaissance. You can buy like a very simple standard downlight for $8. And I've been using these all over the house. They have 3-year warranties on them. They're designed to last 15,000 usage hours, I believe. Yes, at the bottom there. And yeah, it's just an easy thing. They plug in. If something happens to them, you know, they are inexpensive. I don't know why you'd spend more, to be honest, because like I said, you know, one goes bad, then you just swap it out, and it's just as easy as plugging it in. You don't have to have an electrician wire it. So they're dimmable as well, which I'm not doing, but they're multi-color as well, so you can have cool, natural, or warm. Yeah, what more can you ask for? And just like that, we have a lovely light source in this room that gives a definitely better ambience. And I can actually see something. Hooray! So basically the way I've designed it is just so that if you're a guest, you've got this access to this light switch inside the bed area. So it should work out nicely that if you're laying in the bed, you can just flick that switch off at night. It's a nice little reading light. And yeah, it just creates a nice bit of fill and ambience to this room. All right, our big panel is finished. It's all been joined up on the back, and we've made this one big piece. So now I just have to do a cutout for this in there, and we can put it in. I've also just added the fronts to these drawers, so they just need their hardware. And then I'm doing some infill things around here to get this ready to be painted. Uh-oh. It's hard without handles. So we've also added this panel up here to cover up this hole that's been here. That'll be sort of a luggage compartment kind of storage space. Heidi didn't like it in the sage green, which was a bit too close to the door. So I'm painting it back to the kind of wall color, and that'll just sort of make it a bit more disguised looking. Alrighty, we've got our insulation. We've got our knife. What could go wrong? I don't know why I'm saying that. So we'll just be doing a little bit of sound deadening and infilling for temperature control. This room does get a little bit chilly, so hopefully this will help. Gonna have to put a bit of underlay on the floor as well to try to protect any of the occupants from freezing cold temperatures, as the temperature the floor gets very cold at night, especially in the winter here. So let's fill this in, and then we can put this wall on. Yet. Gotta cut the thing to height as well as to width. I've cut it short now to the right height. Let's hope it fits. Time to turn our attention to loftier ambitions, and that literally means the ceiling. So that first means putting up the support pieces that will be supporting our faux beams. All right, now that we've got these pieces on the ceiling, let's turn our attention to actually building the beams that will be affixed to these, because these are just basically support pieces, so it's easier for me to affix stuff to it, because putting things into that fiberglass ceiling is a little bit more tricky. So anyways, our finished look is going to be heavy kind of looking timber beams that come across wall to wall. Basically, yeah, these are just supporting a center beam that will be affixed to that will then hold the aesthetic sleeve that goes around that. So I've pre-cut a bunch of lengths. So each of the beams will be consisting of 3 pieces, which is like this one, which I prepared earlier. Then this can be slid around it and attached to that piece. Sure, there's plenty of people that would say, why don't you build some sort of jig or form or something like that to make this easier, or use a pin gun or something like that. And I have a pin gun, but I don't have a compressor, so I'd have to go and get one. And I was like, I'll just give it a shot and see if I can do this by hand first. And it's kind of working. It's a little bit slower, but... So looking at the underside of this, so what it would more or less look like on the ceiling, obviously I've just connected these so they still have like an obvious, you know, a piece here that looks like where it's joined, but I'll sand those back and fill them where necessary. So then once I've stained that, filled it all up, then it should look like, hopefully, a single piece of chunky timber, which is a lot more expensive to buy as a single post. Plus it's heavier and harder to affix to the ceiling, which is the reason why I went this way. Hopefully it just looks like these beams are floating, being supported by the walls somehow. All right, and then that's the second one done. I think this one turned out better actually. Second one, of course, always does. Bit of a tighter fit right off the bat, so that'll be easier to fix. Just have 3 more to go, and yeah. We'll be able to start doing the next layer, which is not this, but actually painting the roof, getting my electrics done, and then putting the cane roofing on that I've got. So we'll see how that goes. And there we have the finished roof painted. All right, this is my first attempt today at getting this stuff here onto the ceiling. By myself, on a ladder. What could go wrong? So I'm just using these staples, which will ensure that the reed on the roof stays in place as it's a bit heavy. And that's a good start. I do make some unusual design decisions. Yeah, we'll see how this one turns out. Hopefully it'll be my vision of a kind of a tropical hut kind of feel in here, but you can sort of see what it'll look like. So I got all these old pallet pieces that had like bits of pins and nails and stuff stuck into them, but largely we're going to leave them fairly rough looking. And there's a lot of rough pieces here, which is great. And the idea is to basically turn this ceiling area into sort of another type of rustic looking feeling with a couple of beams, just like in the other room. but this time with kind of a wood slat kind of feel. So it looks like you're looking at the underside of an old floor on the other side, like as if there's another level above this particular room. So I got a bunch of pallet wood and I'm just cleaning them up. Say hello to my little friend. Yeah. Yeah, that's just an air gun. I got myself a compressor today, so I've got air power, which I don't usually have. So we're gonna do this roof in the bathroom. I've got all my little planks here all cut, and we're gonna try to make this into a cool looking space. Let's go. Well, it pays to keep your tools lubricated and in good repair. I was having a bit of a crisis because the nail gun wasn't working for me, and yeah, I just realized I haven't been putting any oil in it, which definitely needed. So disassembled it, managed to get it all oiled up, and it did work for me. And now we have this joyful bit of stuff on the ceiling, and it was so much easier with the pin gun. I'm kind of a person who will fluctuate between kind of just manual stuff and you know, if I can just nail it in with a hammer, then I'll do it. But something like this was going to be a lot easier with the pin gun. So, and it went up very, very quickly. So, and yeah, it looks pretty cool even as it is, just as like, you know, timber pieces. But yeah, we're still gonna get a couple of beams in the room and then paint the whole thing white. So yeah, it should have sort of a cool rustic feel regardless. I wonder who lives up there on that floor above us. It's kind of like a attic or something like that. Cool. Quite pleased with the faux beams. I think that they come across looking like solid pieces of timber, even though they're just hollow and light. So this timber roof that I put into the bathroom is quite interesting, but it doesn't quite fit the sort of image or the view that I had in mind. So we got some white paint and let's change this space. So that's one coat, and yeah, definitely changes the look. And I'm not sure which way to go with this now. I might have to consult with Heidi on this one and see what she thinks. I kind of feel like I could leave it looking at like a sort of whitewash kind of thing, or even scrub back some of the white and reveal a bit more of the timber underneath, or I could go with the full-on just like whitewash it out and then kind of have the texture be the thing that kind of really makes it interesting. So I'm not sure. I did like the timber by itself, but it's a bit too late for that now. Well, thanks again for joining me on the progress of my little build here. It's not ever going as fast as I'd like it to, of course, but yeah, I think we're getting close to the finish line. The next video, hopefully, we'll be able to wrap things up pretty much. And I've got friends coming to stay in about 3 months, so that gives me a hard deadline to aim for. So we'll see if I can get it looking visitor ready by then. Anyway, thanks again for joining me, and please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more material like this from Big Tiny Adventure. Take care.